We play.
We fight.
We conquer.
Welcome back to the Freak Show. I am your host, Bumpy McSquigums. Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader is upon us, and we are gunts to continue where we left off in the very last episode. I still don't see anything that indicates, well, I mean, again, I'm sitting still.
Oh, one step at a time.
One step at a time. Alright, so I don't see anything that really indicates a direction that I'm facing. Though, this looks like, okay, that's the map. I'm like, this looks like it might be a compass. Sorry, guys and gals. I kind of wanted to go through this just to see if there was something that was like, There doesn't seem to be. I know in Wrath of the Righteous, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, they actually have a little compass. So you can see where, I can't remember, I think it might be where your camera is facing. It tells you the north, south, west, east, what have you, orientation. So, yeah, I don't know. I would like that.
Curiosity.
It's not
stings
super
in my
important,
veins.
but still, something that I would like to see. All right, we're gonna go meet up with the Arch-Militant. We shall call him Rodney, even though his name's Mort. And, yeah.
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
Okay. We're gonna see the, no? They took the assault away? Really? Or do I have to go further?
Patience!
Aw.
My nerves are frayed!
I kind of liked how that went last time. Is that really gone now? Aw, that's no fun. Hiss boo! Hiss boo! Well, in the playtest, one or both of these ramps were down. And as such, like an army of dudes came rushing over to kind of try to push across the bridge, and they did not make it. But it was a cool little, like, cutscene type situation. I'm a little bummed out that we don't get to see that now.
Beyond?
Oh well. Such is life. More killing people through barrels and stuff. It's all good. What's up? It's Kunrad Voitover. He lets out a sigh of relief upon seeing you. Thank Providence you are alive and well. Always on time, eh, Kunrad? The moment we finish chasing the riffraff around the deck, you show up. Always just after the fighting's done. You could set your chrono by it. Kunrad pointedly looks away from the Arch-Militant to you. Mort, pull yourself together. The Arch-Militant looks back at you. What? Did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? We are all done here. I'll report right away. Mort pulls his Vox from his belt and hurriedly reports the situation. I thought the Voxes weren't working. Master of Whispers, what is happening on my ship? The Vox net is silent. The Vox Master is not responding. Armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck, and my Arch-Militant just destroyed several more heretics on the way here. Is this a severe case of warp madness? Have some of my crew lost their minds and forgotten who they are and whom they serve? Report! I have not yet received word from the Engineerium regarding any Geller field failures, but communications were already unstable half an hour ago, and now they have ceased altogether. Whatever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I am receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and the only voxcasts from the lower bays are one-way heretical gibberish. Voitovir pauses. That the madmen have already reached the officer's deck suggests that the outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny. Oh dear. Mutiny? But who would attempt a mutiny here in the warp? A mutiny against the Emperor's anointed. Execute the traitors, every last one of them. We must provide immediate assistance to those still on the middle decks. Perhaps Then we might stop this wave from spreading. If this is indeed a severe case of warp madness, then the situation is dire. All of these are kind of good choices. I think we're going to go with the assistance. We must provide assistance immediately to those in the middle decks. First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the navigator's sanctum are secure. And I have the means to do both things at once. Her expression changes as her eyes flash ominously. Theodora looks at Voigtver. Adelthrad, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed. A psyker aboard a ship that is potentially assailed by the warp could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons. I tried to locate him, but the last thing known about his movements is that he arrived on transitional deck 18. Blast it. Master of Whispers, find Adelthrad immediately. Seneschal, locate Thlas and the Sister of Battle. Both are to remain at my side. Archmilitant with me. I must go to my study, and it appears that we might encounter heretics along the way. Bumpilius, Theodora glances at you thoughtfully. If I may, Lord Captain. Voigtver's voice is soft and cautious. Transitional Deck 18 is at the heart of the disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Adelthrad back, I could use some support. After all, I'm not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the house as the esteemed Archmilitant. And taking into consideration Adelthrad's psyker powers... A bunch of people ran off. Okay. Then it's settled. Bumpilius, find Adelthrad and bring him here, in whatever state you find him. This elevator, she points at the massive doors, leads to restricted compartments such as my personal chambers and the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. Do you understand? In whatever state, what does that mean? I hear and obey, Lord Captain. I shall do everything in my power. I cannot promise that I won't lose our dearest heir somewhere along the way. I hear and obey. Theodora waves a hand impatiently. Then move out. More to come. Alright. Let's go save Adelthrad. Voigtver gives you a nod. Are you ready to head 18? It is a long walk, and you do not even have proper gear. I shall make do. Lead the way. I have a proposition. Since I am the more important person here, you can go in front to shield me from potential threats. You'd better not fail me. The Lord Captain made it clear that relying on you is fraught with risk. I feel like 3 is pretty good. 1 seems the most PC answer. 2 is hilarious. We'll go with I shall make do. Lead the way. Of course you will. He rummages in his pocket for something. Lady Theodora would never have someone she couldn't rely on as one of her heirs, but that is no longer relevant. With a pop and a sharp crackle, something hits you in the abdomen, and you are consumed by unbearable gut-wrenching pain. I'm pretty sure he hits us with a taser. I promised you a special destiny, Bumpilius. It is time to fulfill it. Well, that's not good. For me, probably. This all seems pretty bad. But we're here for it, and I'm okay with that. This episode might run a little bit short. I'm not 100% sure how far I plan to go with it. But Commissar will be joining me on the next one. As of recording this, I actually am not 100% sure. I just got kicked in the belly where we're at. As of recording this, it looks like we are still about 86% through folks wanting Party Commissar joining.
I see.
Oh, sorry.
Delightful.
Careful, careful. Be gentle with our guests. So I got kicked in the, we'll say, belly. He has an important mission to complete during our visit to the Warrant Chamber. And for that, I need him breathing. Voitiver looks down at you. You're back with us, I see. Delightful. So yes, Commissar will be joining us in the next episode, and we'll be running through this as a co-op Let's Play. He will be a font of knowledge and information. A lot of stuff that I do not understand or know or barely know a little bit about, he can, tell us about. He can give us explanations and further information. Plus, he really likes this game, and he's been looking forward to it for a long time. So, either way, it's going to be good times all around. All right, Warrant Chamber. The sacred relic document that affirm. That's just telling. Oh, the warrant, not the chamber itself. It's obviously where the warrant is kept. Yeah. Voitavir, you two-faced scum! You are behind this, ma'am. Yep. Yeah, he's the one behind it.
How perceptive of you.
Thanks.
I'll help you with the next insight. I need you here for your blood. You have the option to share it voluntarily, or I will squeeze it out of you myself.
I mean, I'm not really a tube of toothpaste.
We are in the anteroom of the Warren Chamber, this void ship's most hallowed vault. There, beyond those gates, lies the relic that gives Theodora all of her power.
Did he just say Theodora?
The sacred warrant of trade. Only one obstacle remains on my path to obtaining it. The gates of the chamber are guarded by the Sentinel, an ancient device that will only open the door to a true heir of the dynasty. I expected to do this part myself, but never mind. You will offer your blood to the Sentinel.
Uh-huh. So, Theodora, somehow. And, of course, dynasty. It's whatever. Okay. Why are you doing this? What is it, inbred? Is your blood too thin for the Sentinel? I have no intention of helping you. I will help you, as long as you spare my life. Or, will you let me join you? We could take the warrant from Theodora together. Alright, I'm going to definitely insult him and call him an inbred. Alright, so let's do that. What is it, inbred? Is your blood too thin for the Sentinel?
On the contrary, the warp's blessing has raised me too much above your kind, Fon Valencius. The Sentinel refused to submit to me. But you can help. After all, isn't that what family is for?
What sorry, pathetic excuse do you even have for your apostasy? You sordid, wretched piece of Grox poop. Okay. Let's do that one. But also the other options are, why are you doing this, as you saw before? I like the coercion. That sounds good.
Wretched. What do you know about wretchedness? Theodora's curse.
You got Theodora that time.
Are you hoping to buy a grain of her indulgence with your blind loyalty? Oh, I know this delusion. But thank the gods it no longer has power over me. Humanity can rot. I no longer serve mortal kind.
Well, that sounds real bad for me. Something, either your tone or the venomous words, throws Kunrad off for a moment, as hateful fury blazes from beneath the mask of a cold professional. He seems upset, yeah.
Once my work is done, I'll make that pompous wench Fon Valencius watch as I sacrifice her entire dynasty and commit their fate to the gods. And you will be the instrument by which I will accomplish this righteous act.
Righteous act, he says. Oh, okay. Voitavir hesitates for a second and then produces a strange weapon, a blade without a handle that shimmers blue in the light. Okay, this is going to be bad. Skill tests and dialogues. One of the available dialogue options requires making a skill test. Unlike with passive tests, which are made automatically, in this case you can decide whether or not to select an option, the consequences of which will depend on the result of the associated test. Success or failure affects how the dialogue will develop, and depending on the context, you might want to change the course of the conversation, alter the character's attitude, or perform an action whose consequences will only become apparent later. Hover your cursor over the dialogue option that requires a skill test, and you will see a tooltip detailing your chances of success. The number of, or after the skill's name indicates the difficulty of the test. Once your character starts traveling with allies, the party member with the highest score in the applicable skill will do the test. Got it. Okay, the blade flashes in the dim light and drops of blood appear on your palm. For a brief moment you feel nauseous. Your head is spinning, and then quiet whispers begin to flood your mind. More and more sourceless voices echo each other, drowning out your own thoughts, replacing them with a singular urge. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Alright, we can fight the voices in our head. Or not do those things. We can fight the voices in our head. Get out. I am not your puppet. I will do as you require, but I will find a way to make you pay for this, you filth. Enough threats. I will comply with your demands. Supposed to be a number here? We hover over it? Okay. Well, I'm doing this one. I'm gonna fight it. I'm not his puppet. The voices in your head giggle and mock your desperate outcry. You feel this intruding influence forcing you to your feet, making you take a step toward the gates looming in the center of the chamber. I guess I failed? I succeeded in the playtest, but I still ended up having to do this. In the gateway arch, you see a cogitator with a human likeness built into the front panel. Yep, that's creepy. As you approach, the torso twitches slightly. This is a servitor, an obedient automation or automaton created from a lobotomized human being. The sentinel turns its head to you, one of its eye sockets lighting up with two ember-like irises. This seems bad. Alright, cogitator. It's the digital computer, and then the servitor. Mindless cybernetic drones created from a fusion of human flesh and robotic technology, used to carry out simple manual tasks. Alright, we can use our 45 tech skill, which we probably totally have, to examine the device. We can look back, or we can look for anything that can be used as a weapon. Being the military man that I happen to be over here, we're going to look for a weapon. You look around in hopes of finding at least something that could be, or that could work as a weapon. Your search is in vain. The chamber anteroom is completely empty and in perfect working condition. Nary a broken panel or protruding piece of rebar in sight. I'll look back at the boys.
Did you forget something?
Pompilius.
I suggest you hurry.
Alright. Tech use 45. My tech use is only 30. Well, I have a 75% chance. Alright. You carefully inspect the design of the gate cogitator. What immediately catches your eye is a strange alloy that was used as material for the machine's components, some of which are unfamiliar to you. You suspect this might be some kind of Archaeotech relic? Archaeotech relic? I don't know what that is. An incredibly rare and powerful piece of technology from humanity's ancient past. Okay. The servitor on the gate begins to move. With the screeching and groaning of metal, it leans forward closer to you. Its lower jaw opens with a drawn-out shriek. Oh yeah, this is not off-putting at all. Much wider than the jaw of a living human could. The servitor's mouth is filled with sharp metallic fangs that glint in the dim light. The vid screen to the right of you lights up, showing strings of mysterious symbols on a green background. It's the Matrix! A whisper runs through your consciousness, insisting, demanding sacrifice. The voices that filled your head after Voigtavir wounded you with his blade did not go away. On the contrary, their source coiled itself into a tight knot somewhere in the depths of your mind. I'm going to examine the Sentinel. The servitor looks noticeably different from the ones you are used to. Its skin covering, okay, is stitched together with copper thread, and it has metal hinges in place of the standard joints. It seems that the creators of the Sentinel did everything to ensure that the service life of this unit would be much longer than that of ordinary automatons. Okay, I guess we stick our hand in the mouth. Okay, this is going to go well. The Sentinel's jaw clamp around your hand, puncturing your skin and sinking into your flesh. Lovely. A few dark drops fall into the servitor's throat, and immediately you hear humming as the servo motors start up and the pump stirs into motion. The vid screen of the cogitator flickers. Several long minutes pass. The sentinel's jaw remains closed, and you're beginning to feel sick. Perhaps if you were to lean against the gate, you could catch your breath. Maybe even close your eyes and pretend none of this ever happened.
High levels of caustic humors. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance?
You do not understand where this quiet voice is coming from, crackling like static. Is it the sentinel? The cogitator? Is it a figment of your weary mind? Whichever it is, you can clearly hear every word. Who is this? Yes, I do require assistance. I suppose this is the onset of warp madness they warned me about. Must have lost my mind. No, I'm asking for assistance. Yes, I do require assistance. Quick thinking, it's what we do. Pain shoots through your head and subsides just as quickly. It would seem the entity coiled in your consciousness does not have the ability to do you any real harm. Well.
Request accepted. Initiating defense protocol.
Oh, snippet a snap. Well, that's convenient. I mean, not for them.
Well, there is still another way.
Bye, Kunrad. Oh, it actually, yeah, of course, it opens the door. You wouldn't think it would open the door, but clearly does. I don't have a gun. He took my weapon. All right, let's take a little look around this lovely place. Very lovely decor. Look at this document here. And there's our coat of arms, the Valencius coat of arms. I wish I could read that, but I don't think you can. Also, it's repeating the same lines over and over again. Like boom, 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 boom. Oh, it changes here a little bit. Very interesting. I wonder if that's actually something like written out and like converted into or written in Latin or something along those lines. Oh, there's another cogitator over here. Or servitor. 2 servitors, actually. I didn't notice that in my first time through. See, this is what I want to be able to do. Let's take a minute, look around, and just kind of enjoy the world that's been crafted for us here. Because it looks incredible.
One step at a time.
I can't talk.
The madness.
I can't talk to these boys. All right. Let it be known that by my will and the true words of this document, I appoint this person the bearer of the warrant to trade and bestow upon them a bunch of stuff, to be the paragon of humanity, unbroken by adversity, to walk bravely first into darkness and unite the world or something, to triumph over the nightmares untold, to hold boldly the reins of fate, to walk steadily the road of thorns, and something else. I don't know why that wasn't voiced. It 100% should have been voiced.
Escort the child of the house to safety.
And I apologize for not being able to read that quick enough. The servo skull's creaking gradually turns into comprehensible words. Escort the child to the house to safety. Or of the house to safety. What madness is happening here? Who are you? Who addresses me? Yeah, what madness? Yeah, I like that one.
Temporary obnubilation following acute stress.
What?
Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel standing by.
Okay. Are you the Warrant Sentinel?
Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel, designed as a personal escort of the child of the house and a means of communicating with the rogue trader's subjects. Mobile unit standing by.
Okay, I could use a weapon. I'm utterly defenseless.
Distance from the current location to the nearest arsenal. Initiating situational calculations.
The servo skull goes silent, its relays clicking. Second after second passes, and you realize that the servo skull will not answer you. I need contact with someone, preferably Theodora.
Voxcast frequencies disrupted. Initiating setup. Establishing connection.
Oh? In place of the mechanical screeching, the servo skull's vox projects the voice of Theodora von Valencius, distorted and ridden with static yet still recognizable beyond a doubt. Voxmaster, restore communication with the navigator's sanctum. I am trying to contact the bridge. If anyone can hear me on this frequency, regroup all available forces and head to the upper decks at once. I repeat, regroup all available forces and head...
Communication protocols breached. Signal latency assessment unavailable. Unable to establish two-way connection.
Alright, lead me away from here.
Middle and upper decks. Assuming the probability of safe placement in areas of concentration of armed units. Calculating. To prevent unauthorized units from breaching the warrant chamber, preemptive sealing must be initiated. The mobile unit will start executing the received order immediately after the safety of the warrant is secured.
The servo skull twitches and makes a few clicks. Alright, that's fair. Oh. As the game story unfolds, you will see notifications at the top of the screen indicating the status of your current objective has been updated and that the new information has been added to your journal. You can open the journal by pressing J or left mouse button clicking on the notification at the top of the screen. Journal entries help you keep track of current events and guide your character on their journey. The quest tab tracks the progress of the main story. Here you can find information about any quests that you have accepted and their current status. Use the journal to help yourself understand where to go on the next steps of your adventure. The rumors and contracts sections are also contain important information. You will learn more about them later. Okay. Alright, so I gotta leave this place, apparently.
They will see. Oh, yes, indeed. They all will see.
Uh-huh. What did this say? The enormous gate matches the importance of the thing they protect. The massive doors are made to... What is he doing? Massive doors are made of heavy metal and look impregnable. Why is he floating back up there? Not one of them can prevail over the other true servants. Why? This is all dialogue finished. Oh, that's interesting. But if it's all, why is that not showing up? Sorry. The enormous gates, okay, undaunted by enemies of humanity, for not one of them can prevail over true servants of the Imperium who are ready to give their lives for his anointed... Okay. Alright, let's do this. Seal the thing back up.
There will be no peace in my wake.
Cool. It's Mort.
Master?
Nope, it's Abelard, sorry.
What? Whatever are you doing in the warrant chamber? How did you... Throne preserve me. What is the meaning of this?
Yeah, I got a lot to explain, don't I? Seneschal Abelard Worsarian has lost some of his former polish. His forehead is sweating, and one of the sleeves of his coat is torn and soaked through with blood. Nonetheless, despite his heavy breathing, he stands firm, and his gaze is demanding, albeit somewhat surprised. Then he said, Master Pompilius, blah, 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 blah. He surveys the carnage around him, his brow furrows, and he places a hand on his weapon. Kunrad Voitiver is a traitor. When we parted ways on the officer's deck, he stunned me somehow and brought me here.
What?
He intended to take revenge on Theodora for something, and trying to reach the warrant was somehow part of that plan. Oh,
Holy
okay.
God, Emperor. I presume he is the one responsible for the mutiny. And, Master, I wish to remind you that you are to refer to the Lord Captain as Lady Theodora.
Apologies. I'm sorry, Abelard. Abelard clutches his forehead. He looks lost for the briefest of moments, but then he quickly finds his resolve again. Voitiver openly admitted that he is the mastermind behind the mutiny, questionably. Why don't we leave the matters of etiquette for another time? So it would seem, but he is not here, and we have a mutiny to end. For a mere seneschal, you are asking too many questions. I'm going to go with 4, so it seems, but he's not here and we have a mutiny to end.
Indeed. Indeed.
Abelard frowns.
That is easier said than done, of course. But seeing one of Lady Theodora's heirs alive inspires at least some degree of optimism.
Okay.
You're in a bad way.
Yeah.
I can treat your wounds. I have a Medicaid kit with me. And, for the love of the throne, now is not a good time to be walking around the decks without means of self-defense. Here.
All right. Examines us critically, and then he hands us a weapon. And we got a laser gun, black chest plate, and a medikit. All right. While fighting, your character can lose some of their wounds. That's a weird way to phrase things. What does that mean? Wounds are a measurement of how much punishment a character can take before suffering debilitating effects and ultimately death. Every character has a specific number of wounds. A character can often increase their wounds by spending experience points and improving their characteristics such as toughness or gaining new talents and abilities. That just seems like a very odd way to word that, or an odd way to build that. You can lose, like, not being wounded sounds good, right? Like, but you can gain wounds by doing stuff. I don't. Okay, it's fine. So I guess wounds is just a health resource. Your character has suffered an injury after being attacked by Khunrad. This happens when a character receives damage that exceeds 50% of their maximum wounds within one round. Are wounds hit points? The exact percentage of wounds a character must lose for this to happen may vary depending on the difficulty of the game you choose. Injuries reduce the character's resolve. Okay, sure. After falling into a trap or receiving damage that exceeds 50% of their total wounds within one round, the character will receive a fresh injury. Okay, I'm just going to keep reading what's here. I think this is fine. When a character initially suffers an injury, it is considered a fresh injury during the first 3 rounds. Once 3 rounds have passed, a fresh injury becomes an old injury. A fresh injury can be healed using a medikit without passing any skill tests. Old injuries can be healed with a medikit, but they require the character administering the treatment to pass a Medicaid skill test to succeed. Use medikits to restore wounds and heal injuries. Note that when a character loses all of their wounds, they fall unconscious. I guess wounds are HP? That's, again, a really weird choice. Once the combat is over, the wounds of all party members are replenished automatically, but it's literally blowing my mind that that's what they decided to call it. It kind of hurts me a little on the inside, but we'll pretend that it's fine. But any injuries they may have sustained remain. Those can be healed with a medikit. Medikits can only be used by characters who have the field medic feature, base skill Medicaid, or have taken Medicaid skill advancement at least once. Whenever a character uses a medikit in battle, a Medicaid skill test determines the number of wounds that will be restored as a result. Abelard can heal your character's injury. Click left mouse button on Abelard's portrait. Use the medikit on the panel at the bottom left of the screen, and you use it on your character. Abelard needs to be standing right next to your character for him to be able to administer the treatment. You have gotten new items. All items are added to your inventory. You can open it by pressing I or clicking the bag icon on the right side of the screen. On the inventory screen, weapons, armor, and other items can be equipped or interacted with in other ways. Medikits can be used to replenish wounds and heal injuries. Alright, so let's go with I first. I has gun. I has armor. And
I'm at your service.
okay, to equip your new weapons or armor, open your inventory, double click. Or you can hold it and drag it. Yep. That's the right slide. Will become highlighted once you drag it. Okay. To view the parameters of an item, hover your cursor over its icon and wait for the information window to appear. Pop-up tooltip. Another way to view the details about an item is to right mouse button, select info. You can switch between party members using the arrows at the top of the inventory screen or left clicking on their portrait. Item descriptions contain comparisons with any corresponding items already equipped on the character.
Your seneschal is always there for you.
All right.
Let's patch you up. That is a noticeable improvement.
Thank you.
Now you're prepared for the trials ahead.
Am I?
The lower decks are teeming with heretics instigating the rabble to revolt. But that is the least of our problems. The ship's enforcers are rounding up the scoundrels and suppressing the resistance. The situation on the middle decks is much worse, although strike teams have already been dispatched there. All communication with the bridge and the engineering bay was lost. So, apart from scattered voxcasts, we have no information to go on.
Well, that's not good.
But that is not the worst of it.
He pauses
All
when the
these
light
jolts
flickers
of
yet
shaking
again.
are most alarming. These are signs that the navigator and the master helmsman are having difficulty translating the ship out of the warp and into real space.
That's not good.
I fear that they may have already lost control. We must reach the navigator's sanctum and get a handle on the situation. If we can manage that, some aboard this vessel may yet survive.
Okay. Well, that sounds real bad. What exactly has gone wrong with the translation?
I am no helmsman. Oh, God Emperor preserve me, navigator. However, I've spent my entire life aboard void ships equipped with warp drives, and I know that portents such as these do not bode well. It could be that the Gellerfield has faltered. Perhaps the navigator was struck down by warp corruption and is fighting for the last shreds of his humanity as we speak.
That seems bad.
If we get thrown off course, we will be forever lost in the warp. Naturally, we would likely not have long to live in that scenario. But I will not resign myself to such an outcome just yet.
Okay. How did you find me?
You sent me a Vox message. Specifically, a Voxcast on the officer's frequency,
Oh?
which I had the good fortune to receive. You mean to say you did no such thing?
That's troubling. Abelard tilts his head and looks at you with worry. I think the Warrant Sentinel may have sent that message. It appeared when I opened the chamber.
Warren Sentinel? The Lord Captain barely ever ventures down to the chamber, and I was at her side only once or twice when she did. And I did not see anything of the sort.
Oh? He looks at the servo skull floating next to you. I mean, it's not right now.
The Warren Chamber is an ancient and rather sacred mechanism that the ship's tech priests treat with the utmost reverence. I assume that whatever it is that you did, you must have activated certain processes and caused the Sentinel to awaken. But then, why did none of it happen when Lady Theodora did the same?
That is troubling. He frowns. Tech priests. The rulers of the Adeptus Mechanicus, they revere technology as the object of their devotion. Oh, I wasn't a tech priest. I was just like a actual priest or something. I don't know. They direct the endeavors of fabrication and lead the followers of the machine god in unforgiving crusades of ruthless acquisition. All right, what can we expect to find in the Navigator's Sanctum? I heard one of Theodora's Voxcasts.
Lady Theodora's. Which one? The last one I received was about the Navigator's Sanctum, and that was a good while ago. In any case, let us hope that the Lord Captain is well, and safely in charge of the ship's defense. In the meantime, we must do all we can to prevent the ship from veering off course.
Okay, what can we expect to find in the Navigator's Sanctum?
During warp transit, the Sanctum is closed to all who are not involved in traversing the Empyrean. And for good reason. For the Navigator to open their third eye and perceive the way, the Sanctum must be bathed in the energies of the Immaterial.
Oh, that's not good.
Only a Navigator can withstand such an ordeal. For the rest of us, any contact with the warp is fraught with perils such as loss of sanity, spontaneous mutations, and death.
Abelard does not bat an eye as he lists all the horrors that you are about to face. Oh, goody! That means that I'm going to be in a lot of trouble, considering I have been sliced with a warp blade or something. I'm under no obligation to take such risks. The Navigator's Sanctum very well. Will you lead the way? For the Imperium and humanity, lead the way, Seneschal.
Come.
Abelard nods his approval. Come, Bombilius. A wave of static suddenly erupts from the servo skull, and you can make out Theodora's words through the noise. To arms, loyal sons and daughters of the God Emperor! Fight the heresy and corruption that threatens to consume our home, and with all your might destroy those who have dared...
The Lord Captain is calling her crew to battle, which means the Vox networks are set up for broadcast transmission. not message exchange. Splendid.
Okay.
While the rogue trader inspires proper resolve to fight in her subjects, you and I shall prove that her trust in us is well deserved. Onward.
The Seneschal's eyes light up and he smiles with grim determination.
Oh, watch this spectacle unfold!
Nice. Okay, a lot of grunting and screaming and dogging. All right. Combat begins with the tactical phase, during which characters cannot attack or take any actions, but they may take it up in an advantageous position. Select a character by left-clicking on their portrait at the top of the screen, then click the cell that you want to move to. Red cells are areas that are inaccessible to a character during the tactical phase. Each character in the party may move up to a maximum of their movement points, but cannot position themselves adjacent to an enemy. Alright, guys and gals, that is going to do it for this particular episode. In the next episode, we will turn on our cooperative mode, and we will see if good old Party Commissar has the has the ability to join us and do amazing things. It looks like we're going to be taking a fair few attacks before we get our first turn, and then Abelard apparently rolled real bad on his initiative roll, and he is going last. So yeah, I'm not real sure how this is going to go. I don't see cover anywhere, but let's hope it goes well. We shall see, I suppose. Alright, until the very next episode, folks, I have been your host, Bumpy McSquigums. Thank you so much for stopping by the Freak Show. We play, we fight, we conquer.